This question is for the Caucasian family. Do y'all think, no, a lot of y'all gonna lie. Some of y'all might keep it real. Do y'all think that the American so-called black Aboriginal man and woman should get reparations? If not, we know why they should, or we should. But if not, explain why they should not get reparations. Now, with that being said, let's just go over history right quick. And this is strictly from my viewpoint of why we most definitely should get reparations. First of all, it is extremely self-explanatory that the American Aboriginal, so-called African American, so-called black people, which once was called colored, Negro, whatever the hell you want to call it, okay? The indigenous people of the planet that occupy America that was in bondage for damn near 400 years, Jim Crow, sharecroppers, and all this other low vibrational shit that they were inflicted upon. It is self-explanatory that they worked for free for centuries. Not like 8 years, not like 10 years. It was not persecuted like 8 to 10 years, like the so-called Jewish people were during their Holocaust. They suffered for centuries. Okay, y'all? Centuries. And are still being persecuted due to racism. Okay? Let me open up y'all mind a little bit more so y'all can see it in detail. Because I don't think y'all really get it. Okay? Let's just say, I'm going to bring it right to you. I'm going to bring it right in your house. So you can see it for what it really is. I'm talking to the Caucasian family out there today. Us Aboriginals know this. But let's just bring it to the Caucasians. Let's just say there were these so-called black people. They went into your country. Because most of us was already over here in America. We were just reclassified. We were actually the American so-called Indians. Are we the American indigenous people? Most of us were just reclassified as mulatto, colored, Negro, black. Like 80% of us are the indigenous Americans. Okay, let's just get that shit clear. But they lied and said the majority of us came from Africa. Don't get me wrong, about 20% did come from Africa. Okay, but let's just say that the indigenous Americans are the... Okay, put it this way. How can I put this? I want y'all to see it clear. Talking to y'all Caucasians, right? Let's say y'all had y'all own country, Caucasians, right? I'm gonna bring it right in your doorstep. Y'all got y'all own country. Y'all are indigenous to that country, your own land. And then you get these... We're gonna use black because that's what y'all go by, Caucasians. Y'all like to call us black people. Okay. And then you get these black people. They come in with nice gestures. Y'all welcome them with open arms. And then, out of nowhere, like a snake, they strike. They burn down your homes. They take your children. They keep them for themselves. They take your women, rape them, do whatever they want to do with them. They take the men. They kill them. They reclassify these Caucasians as, we'll just say, uh, pink people. And then later on, they start calling them peach people. Then later on, they start calling them pinkish pale Americans. Okay? They just reclassifying y'all. Same thing they did to us. I'm just showing y'all how, just in case. If, I want y'all to see if we did y'all that way. Okay? Now, y'all are the indigenous Americans. Then these black people that came from, we just say they came from Africa, came over there and took y'all land. Then they go to a certain part, like in Turkey or somewhere, or Europe. And they bring about 20% of them over there on some ships known as the Wheel of Fortune, the Mansa Musa ship, or some shit. Or the Zeus ship, or we'll say the Osiris ship. And they enslave them. And they enslave the indigenous people too, the indigenous Caucasians. And now you got the Europeans, along with the indigenous Caucasians in America. They both have been reclassified. They fall up under the same umbrella, damn near. Okay, now they kill off the grown-ups, kill them off. I'm talking about if the woman can't give birth to the children, they take a horse, tie her up, one end of the horse, which is, we will say, the legs. Then they tie her arms up on the other end of the horse, and they hit the horse at the same time, split her wide in half, treat her like she's nothing, like she's an insect on the ground and stomped on. No regards for her human life whatsoever. Treat her like she's an animal. They see this lady or these people as people that don't really feel pain. Because they're not human. They don't even feel pain. Okay? And then they come right in your house while you sleep at night. Take your 17-year-old daughter. Have at gunpoint. You can't do nothing. You can try. You might get shot in the head. Take 17-year-old daughter. And they rape her. Send her back. She's traumatized. You feeling like you can't do nothing. Because the lynch mob will get you. Because these black people, they're going to do these horrendous things. Okay? Then these black people, they're lazy. They don't want to do nothing. They want you to do all the work. Okay? They sit around all day and watch you do all the work. And if you even think about asking them, hey, can you help me out with this? You're liable to be hung in a tree. You're liable to be shot in the head. If you say, hey, stop watching all the time and come help me, your child is liable to be raped in front of you. Your husband is liable to be raped in front of you. Okay? These black people are literally two-legged beasts. You're dealing with the nature of an animal. Meanwhile, these black people are considering you as an animal. 3/5 or 2/5 of a human being. Either or. But you're subhuman. Okay? So they take the man from your house. Your house. Remember, you indigenous to America. They take the man out your house. And they sell him. Sell him off to Akbar's plantation somewhere. He's no longer a Smith. He's now Akbar. His last name is now Akbar. First name is James Akbar. And he's being raped. He's being broken down like an animal. He's being broke in. Okay? His children have been stripped from him. His wife has been stripped from him. His wife is being beat with whips on her back because she's talking back to this master over her. Your child has been stripped from your family. Little do you know that little Johnny is being used for alligator bait. So that these black people can make some boots, some clothes attire. And this is going on for centuries. There is no law to stop it. Anything goes. Meanwhile, your family, your friends, all of them are being enslaved, working for free, not for 8 to 10 years, like the Jewish Holocaust, the persecution of them. We're talking about 4 centuries, like 400 years of this. They're also using torture tools. They're putting it inside the wombs of your mothers, your grandparents, and they're splitting her wombs open. And for pleasure and amusement, they're taking people like your uncles, your brothers, your sisters, and they're boiling them in a big old pot, a human pot, boiling them to death. Now, let us look at this a little bit more. For centuries, this is going on to you. You're eating the worst of food. You're eating the pig. You're eating its intestines. You're eating in a kettle like livestock. You can't go as you please. You can't just leave the plantation. Well, you can, but let's not forget. Let's not forget, Caucasian family, that if you leave, there's these overseers or these slave catchers, better yet known as the police. And if they catch you wandering off Mr. Akbar's plantation, you're liable to be skinned alive, boiled to death, hung in a tree, hit with a whip. And this is one way, just a little, get off subject for a split second. This one I knew when I was a little boy. When I was a little boy, nobody had to tell me that Jesus was this so-called Jesus fella in the Bible that was beat with a whip, hung in a tree. When they told me he was white, I said they lying. I knew when I was a little boy, I said, nah. Only people that got whooped with whips was the original people of the planet, the so-called black man in America. The only people that was hung for years was the so-called black man in America. Okay? I already knew Jesus was black, so-called black. The real historical Yeshua ben Pandora. I knew he had to be a black man. I knew it. I just knew it. Just common sense. But anyway, let's get back on track. So let's say Caucasians, y'all have been enslaved by these black people, right? Oh, I'm talking about they dogging your ass out. They're not even respecting you as an adult grown man. They're saying, hey, come here, boy. Even their own children are calling you boy. And here you are, a 55-year-old grown man, totally disrespecting you every step of the way. Your life means nothing to you. You feel like you don't even have a purpose. You feel like you don't have any control, no free will whatsoever. You feel like you are, every day of your life, talking to y'all Caucasian, every day of y'all life, y'all are depressed, sad. The only time you get joy is when you go inside your slave houses. The church, that is. You go inside your slave house and you're praying to Osiris, Asar, some Egyptian god that they beat into you. They beat it into you. Prior to then, you worship Zeus. Okay? You worship Zeus at first. That was your original god, Zeus. But guess what? They beat Zeus out of your ass. And now, you believe in Osiris. All of your children, all of your entire race that's in America, that was enslaved by these black people. They believe in Zeus. They believe in Osiris. They took your language from you. They beat it out of you. They killed off all your forefathers. Now the children never heard the original language. They've never heard the English language. They've only heard Aramaic. Now they're speaking Aramaic. They're speaking Geese. They're speaking Aramaic. They stripped your culture from you, your language, your folkways, your culture. No longer are you running around half naked in the caves. Or in Europe and in America, no longer are you dressing the American way. You're now dressing in dashikis. Yes. You're now dressing like a black man and black woman. They took your custom from you. You've been stripped of your natural original self. For 400 years, you've been totally blackwashed. They took your history from you. You know nothing anymore about your original ways when you was alone to yourselves in America and in Europe. You know nothing whatsoever. Then one day, you start rebelling. You start fighting against them. And you fight so much and you kill so many of these slave makers and slave owners to the point to where they set up a treaty to set you free. But only to sharecrop you. And all of the crops that you're growing, you only get a small percentage of it, and the rest of it goes to your slave maker. Thus, you're still in slavery. Just a smaller degree of what you were experiencing. You still have no rights. They still can kill you at will and get away with it, and no one's there to stop it or have any say about it. Okay? And then, next thing you know, your names have been changed. I mean, your race name. You're not considered an American. Oh no, you're not considered an American. You're considered a European American, and you're also called this word, pinkish pale. Yeah, there's the pinkish pale people right there. There they are, the pinkish pale people. You're not considered an American, even though you were already there. Okay? They've reclassified you. They totally demolished your whole entire original being. And not only that, they totally blackwashed history. They blackwashed history. They told you, they found you in Europe, living high up in the Caucasus Mountains, eating shit. You never contributed anything to civilization. Okay? You didn't even know how to walk right. They taught you how to walk. They just blackwashed everything. They found you crawling on your all fours. This is what they're telling you. They're blackwashing history. It said you never contributed anything to civilization. Every civilization that you built, you were warring amongst everybody. They're just lying on you, blackwashing it. And they changed all of your indigenous chiefs of the land that you once had before they invaded your land. They changed all of them to black people. But when you go deep in history, you found out that your indigenous chiefs of the land were actually Caucasian or pinkish pale. Now you're starting to wake up a little bit. Now you're starting to wake up. Meanwhile, they're doing this 100-year of lynching. Everywhere they see you out of line and see you trying to integrate with them, they're hanging you in trees. They've got these signs up that says, blacks only. No whites allowed. I mean, not whites, but no pinkish pale people allowed. You still are being mistreated every step of the way. And if you try to step foot in one of their restaurants, just to use the restroom, your child is about to shit on himself or herself. You just want to use the restroom. As soon as you walk in, they say, hey, get that pig out of here. They call you pig instead of the N-word like they called the original us. They call you pig. So to them, the word pig would be like calling a so-called black person in today's time the N-word. So they're calling you pig. Meanwhile, let's not forget that during the midst of the enslavement, these so-called black people were actually putting you up on rostrums, auctioning you off to other enslavers, to the other black enslavers, selling you off to different lands for small amounts of money, depending on what your skills were and wasn't.
Gather around. We have our auction to have this buck cracker. This big buck cracker is very healthy, very strong, from Western Europe, I would like to start my bidding at $1,000.
I'll give you $1,500 for him.
Mr. Jackson, you can't keep coming up here trying to buy my product before everybody else.
Really?
Yes.
Well, let me ask him. Now, am I being unfair to y'all?
Nah, we ain't say nothing like that.
Wrap him up.
Not so fast. I'll give you $1,600 for him.
Seems we have ourselves an auction here.
1850.
1,900.
3,000.
Ooh-wee. My cracker worth 3,000? 3,000 going once? Mr. Wayne? Going once? 3,000 going twice? This cracker's sold to the plantation.
Wrap him up. That's my cracker.
So with all that being said, if this had happened to the Caucasian race, would you deserve reparations? Being that your entire race has been deprived of education, because during that time if you were caught reading, you were murdered. You were tortured, even castrated. Your body parts used as souvenirs. Throughout the wheel of time, as long as these black enslavers had you in captivity, you were at their mercy. You had no free will whatsoever. The universal law of free will was totally deprived from you. You could not navigate your life as you see fit. Now, knowing that you are basically set back in all affairs in life, whether it's economics, whether it's education, whether it's just catching up, because this is what you would literally have to do. You have to play catch up because you are so behind. And this so-called black race is totally ahead, 400 years ahead. So they have this black privilege because their system is rooted in racism toward yours. Okay? They even have an FBI that is set up to destroy any one of you that seems to be like a messiah figure. They are basically secretly out to get you. They're not worried about the Chinese, Japanese, and Mexicans, and Puerto Ricans, or whatever else out there that has a can in it. Besides that, they're only focused on you. Because subconsciously, they're afraid that one day you're going to do to them what they done to you. Now, should you deserve reparations? Now, let's look at America today. America is sending billions of dollars to other countries when they could totally give you your reparations with ease. Oh, the voice of reason has spoken.
With the $165 billion we gave to Ukraine, we could have built 6 border walls to stop illegal immigrants from pouring across our southern border. Could have fixed Flint's water system 215 times over.
Easily.
I like this one. Could have given every homeless vet $2 million.
Holy shit.
Could have given $50 million to every family impacted by the Maui wildfires.
They got $700 each. They think it would take $20 billion to end homelessness in America. $20 billion. We've sent 100 and how much?
$165 billion.
So we could have ended homelessness 8 times over in America. It's outrageous.
Now, Caucasian people, be honest with yourself. Do you see fit that the indigenous so-called black Americans deserve reparations? Be real with yourself. Put aside your natural instinctual racism. Now, if you say no, they don't deserve reparations, make it crystal clear why you don't see it fit.